Hey guys, Frag here, and if you're like me, the recent trend of early access has left you a little bit worried about the future of gaming. Are we being sucked into paying for titles that will never get off the ground? Do the developers know this and just try to grab our money and run? Well, that gave me an idea. Why don't we make an extremely simple game and see how it goes? So I've found myself being sucked into buying early access games more and more. Now, while there are titles that use the system for its intended nature, which is getting out there and getting seen by the people, some titles are so haphazardly slapped together and incomplete, it really makes you wonder about the integrity of the developer. Now, I do believe that it's extremely healthy to make sure that small developers have a chance to get their projects out and seen en masse. This allows us to challenge exactly what it is to have a successful game. We don't always have to see the high-polished AAA games that get pushed out every year with a few more skins. We see games that have intriguing and interesting game mechanics that make them quite fun to play. Now we also, on the other side of this, have to regulate what's coming through and set a standard as to what's acceptable as a gamer. So the reason I want to make an extremely small and basic game is just to go through the journey of the entire process, start to finish, and really see how hard it is. Most of us will understand it's a multifaceted, extremely complex undertaking, and especially when you're doing everything yourself. So let's dive in and just start gauging how crazy this is. Now I have some basic rules up for this project to help me keep on track. Given that I have next to no experience with Unreal Engine, I think I've started about 4 projects that have all the starter content and just sort of played with it and then quit. So I have to put extremely realistic goals in place so that this doesn't go more pear-shaped than I already know it will. So these are the rules. The game must have 3 levels only. There's a main menu, or title screen if you will, a single game level, and a win screen. The menu screen will have the option to start the game or to quit the game. The game level must have a win condition so that you can progress to the win screen, and the win screen must give you the option to quit or play again. It's that simple. So why do this? Well, like I said, it's becoming apparent that some developers, not all, are abusing the early access state of play. Years ago, it was all in-house testing by people who worked for the games company and got paid to do so. So now we're paying them to test it. Larger companies obviously still have their in-house testers, even if they are in early access. But of course, it's a fine line with some other developers who may abuse the early access model. So there'll be 3 levels, we know this. A main menu, actual game level, and then a sort of win screen that says congratulations once it's complete. But what am I actually making here? What is the game? So the idea I came up with to keep it quite simple is that you're a guy on an island and there's coconuts on the floor, and if you pick up the coconuts, you win. Yep, my phone's going off. Gaben is calling to buy it. I'll talk to him later. But seriously, I will be adding things in from the comment section once the first rendition is complete. It needs to be complete. It needs to have a menu. You click it. You have a win condition. He says, congratulations, would you like to play again? That's what I want to get at here, is that I want to make it from start to finish a really simple title just to see how big the hurdles are. And then from there, we can add bits and pieces to it. Please keep the ideas in the comment section realistic. If you want me to add a bush to the map, or you have an idea to make the island more interesting, or a sign with a poo logo on it, I can do that. Please don't ask me to add in like a highway with a city and T-Rexes that talk and are fully animated. Probably not going to happen. And of course, bit by bit, we'll add in pieces and make it sort of, version 2.0, whatever we decide that we're going to do. And if you guys like this, I'll keep it going. If it fizzles and pops and no one's really interested in seeing it, of course, I will focus my attentions on other things. I still have Dirty Bomb and Paragon videos in the works. It's just taking time. They're giving me the poops. So what have we got so far? I will be in all of these outlining how long it has taken and keeping a note anytime that I work on the game, be it conceptually, on the computer, or anything at all. I take note of the time it took. So this entire session took 55 minutes. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. God knows why my brain decides that this is a good idea and a good time to start doing these things. So far I went into Google and YouTube, something I will be doing a lot because my knowledge is obviously so low that anything that I can get from any of these places is going to be great. I have added terrain. I looked that up. I managed to sculpt a bit of landscape. I accidentally made it grass, which is not what islands are made of. Most of the time when we envisage a small island in the middle of the ocean, we think sand. I then added a small cylinder and colored it in like wood, and I used some of the pre-made assets that Unreal Engine came with, which is obviously what the dude is. Like the character that you see running around and jumping is a pre-made model, and they're supplied by Unreal Engine just to give you the visual representation of your character. This is fantastic for quickly getting an idea down and seeing how it plays out. It's pretty interesting. So from there, I add a large floor, which I then apply a water material to. So the bad news there is you can walk on that, and the coconut can roll and float across the top of that because it is actually a floor that looks like water, not water. So yeah. That's what we've got so far. I then add a basic sphere and shrink it down and color it dark brown so it looks like a coconut, and give it physics so it can roll around the island, which is a bad idea because we want to be able to collect them, and if we do get the water to a behavioral state where it's actually like water, that's just going to flop into the ocean. So I'll probably change that. But I then realize I don't know how to make collision events in this. I don't know how to program it in C++. And I know that Unreal Engine comes with something called blueprints. So you can imagine, we've all seen programming and code. And if you're like me, you like to use the left side of your brain a bit more than the right. I just tilted the whole ocean and deleted it by accident. So I had to make it again, by the way. So you prefer using the left side of your brain. Now, what this allows you to do is a more visual sort of representation as to what's going on there. I can't see you making a whole game with no programming at all. It would be let's see. That's what we're doing, I guess. But we're using the blueprint system here, I'm failing to use the blueprint system. What I want to do is make it so that when my character collides with that coconut, it destroys the coconut, and we will probably have to have some sort of counting system. So that when, it reaches 5 coconuts, or it tests on a frame basis that if all the coconuts are gone, then switch us to the win level. Or, I prefer to probably just have 5 coconuts, and once it reaches the number 5, it gives congratulations, you've won, and moves us across to the next level. It throws up all sorts of funky errors at me when I try to save after destroying that blueprint. And yeah, this is what we've got so far. The coconut is gone. I don't know what I've done. We can walk on the water, but there is an island. It looks like there's water and there's a tree on it. That's exactly what I envisaged. So all we have to do now is add the coconuts in and some sort of counting system, and maybe make the water, water instead of a floor. So that's what we've got so far, guys. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any ideas right now on what to add, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll be fragging.